How to actually make people regret losing you. Have you ever given someone your time, your loyalty, your attention, only to feel invisible? You tried, you cared, you loved, and yet somehow they didn't notice. And then one day they're gone. Suddenly it hits them. They let something valuable slip away. But here's the secret most people don't understand. Regret isn't created by begging, chasing, or explaining your worth. The brain doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to absence, dignity, and emotional independence. People regret losing someone who doesn't collapse without them. People regret losing someone who silently shows that life moves forward even without them. Imagine this. You step back, stop over-explaining yourself, and focus on your growth. You stop seeking approval and instead start living your own life fully. You no longer wait for their recognition, but you shine anyway. And suddenly they begin to notice. They feel a pang of regret that words could never create. It's subtle, it's invisible, and it's unavoidable if done right. This isn't manipulation, this is psychology. This is how human brains work. The truth is, people only realize value after it has gone, but you don't have to wait for that realization to empower yourself. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the hidden patterns of human behavior that make someone regret losing you. Naturally, effortlessly, and without a single desperate word. By the end of this video, you'll understand why people regret loss, what triggers it deep in the mind, and how you can naturally become unforgettable all while maintaining dignity, strength, and calm. Are you ready to uncover the secret that most people will never see coming? Because once you understand this, you'll never look at relationships, friendships, or respect the same way again. We've all been there. You give your time, your energy, your heart, and yet somehow it feels like it was never enough. You try to explain, to reason, to show your value, but nothing seems to stick, and then one day they're gone. And suddenly in the quiet of their absence they feel it, regret. But why does this happen? Why do people often fail to see the value of someone until it's too late? Why does chasing someone, explaining yourself, or pleading for recognition rarely work and sometimes even backfire? The answer lies not in words but in human psychology. Our brains are wired to respond to scarcity, to distance, and to the way people carry themselves. People don't regret losing someone who constantly begs for attention. They regret losing someone who maintains calm, confidence, and self-respect. They regret losing someone who is strong enough to move forward even without them. Think about it. How often have you noticed people only realizing the true worth of a friendship or relationship after the person is gone? It's not a coincidence. There's a psychological mechanism at work, a combination of loss aversion, scarcity perception, and emotional independence that makes absence far more powerful than presence. And this isn't about manipulation. It's about understanding how the human mind assigns value, and how you can naturally trigger that realization without chasing or pleading. In this video, you're going to discover how to make people regret losing you, not through games, not through tricks, but through understanding how human behavior, psychology, and perception work together. By the end, you'll see why dignity and calmness speak louder than desperation, why self-respect is magnetic, and why someone who truly matters will feel the weight of your absence. So, if you've ever been unappreciated, overlooked, or taken for granted, stay with me. By learning these psychological patterns, you'll not only protect your self-worth, you'll also unlock a power that most people will never understand. A power that makes them realize in their own mind that losing you was a mistake they can't undo. Imagine this. You're someone who gives their best in every relationship. You listen when others talk. You remember the small details, you support people through their struggles. You show loyalty, patience, and care. And yet, despite all this, it feels like your presence goes unnoticed. Your messages are left unread, your efforts are taken for granted. The more you give, the less it seems to matter. You start asking yourself questions. Am I too much? Too sensitive? Too invested? And the more you question, the more you try to prove your worth. You bend over backward to show that you care, you chase, you explain, you beg for recognition. But here's the cruel irony. The harder you push, the less people respect it. The brain doesn't assign higher value to effort that's easy to obtain. It notices what is scarce, what is confident, what is independent. Picture a close friend or a partner who never seems to notice your sacrifices. You've gone out of your way countless times, but when it's convenient for them, your loyalty is invisible. You've stayed calm, supported them through challenges, celebrated their wins, but now they take it for granted. This is where the tension builds. You feel frustration, confusion, and even sadness. You ask, why do they not see me? Why do they not value what I give? And in that moment, a seed is planted, a psychological reality most people never understand. It's not about being louder, more present, or more desperate. It's about stepping back. It's about allowing your absence, dignity, and self-respect to speak volumes. At this stage, you're already in the position that most people never reach. You know your worth. You know the value you bring. The challenge is learning how to let others recognize it not by force, but by natural psychological response. People often regret loss when they see it in action, not when they're told. They feel it internally when something they once had is no longer available to them. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to create that emotional realization in others without pleading, without chasing, and without compromising your own self-respect. You'll discover why stepping back is more powerful than stepping forward, and why silence can be the most persuasive tool in making people regret losing you. So far you've been giving. You've been showing your worth through constant presence, attention, and care. But what happens when that effort goes unnoticed? The conflict begins. The more you try, the less recognition you get. And this is where psychology becomes fascinating. Human brains are wired to take what's easily available for granted. When something or someone is constantly there, our mind begins to undervalue it. It's called the scarcity principle. We don't realize the true value of something until it becomes rare. And here lies the turning point. No amount of explanations or pleading can replace the natural effect of absence. People regret loss only when they feel the void, not when they are reminded of your efforts. Another key psychological mechanism at play is loss aversion. People are more impacted by losing something than by gaining something equivalent. When you stop overgiving, stop chasing, and start focusing on your own life, you trigger this mechanism. Suddenly, your absence creates a tension in their mind, a tension that no words or excuses can fix. But here's the tricky part. Stepping back doesn't mean withdrawing care completely. It's about emotional independence, maintaining dignity, and living your life fully. This creates a subtle but powerful shift. They start noticing the calm, confident version of you. They feel the space where your presence used to be. They see what they lost, and they can't stop thinking about it. Meanwhile, there's an internal struggle within you. You feel the pull to reach out, to explain, to fix the imbalance. That's natural, it's human to seek validation. But giving in now would reverse the effect. The turning point requires self-control and patience, trusting the psychology of absence and value. This is where most people fail. They try to force regret through words or actions. But psychology shows the opposite works. Stop proving, start living, and allow human nature to do the rest. The moment you embrace this, you shift from being overlooked to being unforgettable. In the next part, you'll discover the shocking revelation, the exact way the mind registers your value, the aha moment that makes regret inevitable, and why people will never see you the same way again. Now comes the moment where everything clicks. The psychological revelation that turns absence into unforgettable value. Up until now, you've seen how giving too much can backfire, and how stepping back can spark recognition. But the true power lies in understanding how the human mind registers worth and regret. When someone loses you, their brain doesn't immediately recognize the logical reasons, they feel it emotionally first. This is where emotional contrast plays its role. Humans compare what they had with what they now lack. The moments of laughter, support, and calm presence you provided don't disappear, they become memories, starkly highlighted against your absence. This contrast triggers a deep sense of loss and longing that words could never induce. Hear us the shocking truth. People regret losing you not because of what you say or do, but because of how you make them feel. Your confidence, independence, and self-respect create a magnetic aura that can't be replaced. When they see you thriving without them, enjoying your life fully, it hits the subconscious hard. The brain hates losing something it had, especially when it was valuable yet effortless for the other person to maintain. Another psychological factor intensifies this effect: projection of desire. In your absence, people start imagining life with you again. They replay conversations, relive shared moments, and internally debate what could have been. Their regret is amplified because it's no longer theoretical, it's personal, emotional, and immediate. This is the aha moment. They realize that you were never desperate, never pleading, never dependent on their approval. Instead, you were living with dignity, showing your true worth silently. And now, that worth is undeniable. No explanations, no chasing, just your authentic self, which makes your absence resonate louder than any words could. By understanding this, you gain the ultimate power to influence perception without manipulation. To let psychology do the heavy lifting while you maintain integrity. To turn absence into presence, silence into impact, and self-respect into something people can't forget. This is the climax of your journey, the point where the mind recognizes your value, the heart feels the loss, and the regret becomes inevitable. And it all begins by stepping back and letting human nature reveal the truth. Now that the climax has revealed the shocking truth about human psychology, it's time to reflect on what this teaches us about human behavior and our own lives. People's regret isn't something you can force with arguments, social media posts, or desperate attempts to prove your worth. It arises naturally when you embody self-respect, emotional independence, and authenticity. When you stop seeking validation externally and focus on your own growth, something fascinating happens. Absence transforms into presence in their mind. They begin to notice your value not because you tell them, but because your life silently demonstrates it. Your confidence, joy, and consistency become unignorable signals of worth, and the regret? It becomes inevitable. This revelation also reflects a deeper truth about human relationships. We are wired to take what is easy for granted and only truly value what we feel we could lose. Understanding this isn't just a tool for making others regret losing you, it's a lesson in self-empowerment. It teaches you that your worth isn't determined by someone else's recognition, but by how fully you live your life. The emotional tension that others feel is not your responsibility, yet it is a mirror of their own blind spots. By stepping back, you allow them to confront the reality of their loss while simultaneously freeing yourself from the exhausting cycle of proving your value. In practical terms, this means focusing on your own goals, passions, and emotional growth. Engage with life fully, nurture your self-confidence, and let your absence do the talking. You'll notice that people who previously undervalued you start reflecting on what they lost, while you remain unaffected, growing stronger and more self-assured. Ultimately, the aftermath of this approach is not just regret in others, it's liberation for you. You learn that influence comes not from chasing approval, but from embodying value and living unapologetically. At this point, you've seen the hidden psychology behind human regret. You've learned that trying to force recognition or pleading for validation only diminishes your value. True influence comes from stepping back, living fully, and showing self-respect. When you embody confidence and independence, your absence speaks louder than any words ever could. Remember, people regret losing you not because you told them, but because they felt your value in their life and now feel the void of your absence. Your life becomes the proof of your worth. The power isn't in manipulation, it's in authenticity, consistency, and emotional independence. So here's the call to action. Focus on yourself. Pursue your passions, strengthen your mind, and nurture your confidence. Live unapologetically and let your presence or absence do the talking. Stop proving, start thriving. Watch how human nature naturally creates the regret that words could never force. If you apply these principles, you won't just make people regret losing you, you'll become someone unforgettable, untouchable by validation seeking, and free from the emotional traps of needing approval. And if you enjoyed uncovering the hidden patterns of human behavior in this video, wait till you see what psychology reveals about why people can forget those who walk away with dignity,